Right, I've shuffled the cards. What's in your energy today? I've actually taken out quite a few, have popped out from different decks. Um, you can't unsee the unseen once you've seen it. So that's a bit of a mouthful. So basically, you've seen something that maybe isn't totally visible to the eye or wasn't visible to your eyes or ears, wherever you want to put it. But you can't unsee it now. Um, I suspect this has something to do with the karmic masculine. And if it's not, we both have feminine and masculine energies in us. It could well be a feminine energy. But now whatever you've seen, you now have put boundaries up. And Spirit's saying that was your assignment. Your assignment was to learn boundaries and use them. This person could have had you under some kind of mind control. Obviously, I don't mean that in the sort of excessive way, more sort of like they enjoy using mind manipulation. That's how they work. I don't know, they've read the books or, there's something of this here. Um, and yeah, I have to go where I'm led. So I do genuinely believe this person has read books about how to sort of manipulate people and their mind. Hopefully it's nothing too heavy, like that's all they read or something. But nevertheless, you've caught on that somebody's been trying to sort of use you like a puppet. Again, that example might be a bit extreme, but I have to go where I'm led by spirit. This was a bond, probably a trauma bond, but it's upside down. So I think you've broken this bond. Just be aware of, it says here, you know the difference between flattery and authenticity. Perhaps this is one of the things that you've seen and you can't unsee it. So before, when people used to use flattering language, you'd be like, oh, they're lovely, they're so nice, yeah, come to my home and something like that. That might be, again, a bit extreme, but you were falling for it, whereas now you can feel there's a different quality to flattery and authenticity. And flattery is actually manipulative. So perhaps this person did that, they might not, or they're going to come in doing this. So Spirit wants you to be aware of this, and it might not be them, it could actually be someone else. But this person essentially was using these tactics and so forth because they wanted you to have low self-esteem, they wanted you to be uncomfortable. But and take it where it fits, because this is a general reading, so it's something of this. And essentially they're just wasting your time. I'm hearing they've got a lot of time to waste. So you've learnt the spiritual lesson, or you're learning, and now this energy is getting sent back, and I believe it's a bit of a problem. If you want to identify who this is, it's somebody who really loves attention, lives for it, would get on their knees for it. So somebody of this ilk. And if it's not attention, it's something of the world, and it's a bit excessive. This person is this way because they have substance abuse issues. Whether that's, I'm led to believe that this is still going on. It could be something in the past. Or something they're battling through at the moment, but that's another indication about who this person is. And it does say stay away, but if again, this is a general reading, and each to their own, but I think if you're working with alignment and spirituality, when people do use substances, you can attract heavy energies, and if you're dealing with that person, you're going to have to deal with those heavy energies too and alchemize them. which some people are prepared to do, but you know, just to be aware that it's not a smooth, easy journey, and you're probably being told today, so you can make the decision properly, and wasting your time is here. So yeah, I mean, maybe if this person's in full-blown recovery and so forth, perhaps you'd consider it, but nevertheless, wasting your time is here. So even if you were to do the altruistic thing and be there for somebody who's fallen, I don't think their intentions are good. And karmic masculine is here too. But karmic can just mean lessons, but nevertheless, that's where my energy is. So you've understood this assignment. It's where to put boundaries, possibly putting your boundaries down before over listening to your heart. Perhaps you have helped this person because maybe not substance abuse, but other things or other people, and you sort of wanted to be the Mother Mary, the Jesus, you know, to not turn the other cheek and so forth. And maybe you're just starting to sort of pedal back a little bit now and realise you need to do what's right for you first, and then you can help people if you so wish. And perhaps you've already done your fair share and it's now time to look after you, in all forms that is. Yeah, so essentially you deserve better than this energy you've been in, and you realise that. Again, it doesn't mean you are intrinsically better, you know, God made everyone, but you can have energy around you that is reciprocal, isn't playing games, isn't in this sort of karmic loop, something that's going to be nourishing, something that's going to be nurturing, something that feels safe and so forth, as opposed to not. This person didn't see you before, not and it says I did, but I refused. So, and I think not only did they refuse, they tried their best to use their mind manipulation, or however you want to put it, perhaps like coercion, perhaps it, you know, it's a bit more serious than that, and it was all to lower your self-esteem. But I suspect you know about this, and I suspect you've accepted this because this card fell out by accident, and I never see anything as an accident, especially when it's on the table. So I think you've accepted this, and it says you let go of the old and you're now at peace. It did come out sideways, so it makes me feel like you're in this energy where you're still doing this, you're still letting this go, and you're still finding your peace. You could be there already, or you could have just started, but this is where you are. You've learned the spiritual lesson, you found your boundaries, you know what's going on here. This person was this way, likely because of substance abuse, but doesn't have to be. But it could be all sorts of types of addiction. Some people are addicted to shopping, some people are addicted to working, some people are addicted to fitness, you know, like anything to a massive excess. It can be an issue, but the substances, they do carry a quality where essentially other attachments can come in, and it does make things tricky. Anyway, I won't go into that too much. This person doesn't believe you've changed for the better. That's in your energy. They may well come in and make that known. So you're just being, or there's people, maybe it's not just one person. You could have quite a few people in your energy field or leaving your energy field who were in this karmic masculine energy. And for me, karmic masculine, I just think like authoritative. I can't even say it. Authoritative. You'll know what I'm saying, hopefully. But words do come out topsy-turvy when you're channeling, and it does happen for me sometimes. So just be aware when this person comes back that you have learnt this spiritual lesson, that you still do enforce your boundaries, I'm hearing be careful of a sob story. You know, you've got a very big heart, so just be aware of that. It could be a bit of a test. That's why the spiritual lesson is here. It's okay to know and believe you deserve better, which could be safe spaces, spaces that help you grow, spaces that are nourishing, spaces which are reciprocal, and that's not what these energies were providing for you. And if they were sporadic, and short-lived, and performative is the energy I'm getting off this, with the flattery and authenticity. So just be careful if you know that this person is a bit of is good at that. They're going to be even better, to just as a little test. But Spirit wants you to know that you don't need these people. I suspect you already know that. You know, often these readings are just confirmation for your own intuition anyway, but Spirit's just sort of giving you a little tick. You know this person's going to waste your time. You know that this person has been trying to mentally, I heard, abuse you. So take that where it fits, but you know, definitely trying to control you mentally of some kind. And you know that they're going to waste your time. You know that they're karmic masculine energy, even if it is a woman. And you know you don't need them. And you know that you're letting this go and you're choosing peace. And you know, ultimately, it's probably a spiritual lesson and you've understood the assignment. It's your job to keep doing that today. I'm also hearing you've been way too flexible with this situation already. So you don't need to sort of second guess yourself. You've been very flexible. That's what I'm hearing. This person used to find you their happy place, and perhaps you found them your happy place, but this did come out sideways. Well, it didn't, in fact. I pulled it and it came out like this, which could be this, but it made me feel not as clear as the others that sort of fly out. And the energy I feel of this is you, perhaps you did see this person as your happy place, and perhaps this person does see you as their happy place, but the energies have now shifted. Now you don't fall for flattery. Now you know this person would more than happy have you as a puppet on some strings. Now you know that this is just a waste of time. Now you understand the spiritual assignment and the bond has been broken. You're not going to be each other's happy place. If you ever were, perhaps they were when you didn't see what you see now. And same for them, you know, perhaps you were their happy place when you had your eyes closed and you were blindfolded and you had this big, huge heart that was coming outside of your body, you know, energetically. I'm not saying your heart isn't like that anymore, but you have no blindfold and you have a big security guard around you. The situation is not the same. Spirit's asking you to relax today, when and if you can. And that could simply just be 10 minutes, you know, of setting an alarm, and just finding some meditative time. Okay, we've got here, it's going to happen soon, so get excited. So I believe this is something to do with like stepping into your peace. Perhaps I've just got a vision of you connecting with your spirit guides now, or finding something spiritual. It could be creative. It's something that's moving you away from this. So I'm actually going to put this over here. This is done. Spirit, please allow the messages to fly out in God's will for the highest good of all, to help the collective. So let's try to understand these things better. Please allow the messages to fly out so I can help to channel the messages. Oh, that's too many. Oh, okay. What's on the bottom of the deck? Tell me more, please, Spirit. Okay, so you're in this energy. Okay, this is possibly why I saw the letting go and peace card was a little bit on the side. And yeah, so this is where you are. You're in patient energy, and you've got in contact with your courage. And this is what's to come, and it will move, but it's not where you are right now. Your intuition and releasing blocks is upside down. Does that mean there's something wrong with your intuition and, oh no, you've not released the blocks? No, you're still, I'm hearing, in the teething stage of letting these energies go. And it doesn't matter if you let this energy go 2 years ago, okay? Spiritual work, it can take time, and it's about finding your alignment, and finding your alignment is finding your own peace, finding prayer, finding what feels right for you. And you've done the big thing, which is you've been courageous enough to identify what's been going on in your energy field, and you've been patient enough to get to this lesson. And the blocks are releasing, but they're not fully released yet, and it does impact your intuition. And that doesn't, again, it doesn't mean that your intuition is, there's, oh no, like maybe I shouldn't listen to my intuition. I mean, always speak to your own angels and guides when it comes to your intuition, or use some divination to double check if you are worried. You know, you can get a pendulum or a coin even, and you know, if for some reason you feel like something's wrong. Before I came on to this, and when I was shuffling, oh gosh, I don't remember the name of that stone now. Some black stones by accident fell down. Obviously, I don't find anything an accident. Let me see if I can. Is it Osbisden? Am I saying that right? Anyway, I'll find the actual proper name, because I say lots of things wrong, especially when I'm on the table. And it helps with negative energy. And I'm really being called to this substance abuse. Maybe you also were part of, and this space isn't to judge anyone. Life is hard for people, so perhaps there was times that you also had to rely on substance abuse. And you're healing now, or I pray for you to have some healing, so you can get through that, because obviously it's not easy. And if that's not the case, you were dealing with someone that is in this energy, and there's nothing easy about that. And of course, it's going to knock on your confidence, it's going to knock on your understanding, and it's going to be harder to release, and it's going to knock on to your intuition. But all I think Spirit is telling me is that exactly, forgive yourself, forgive this other person. Forgiveness doesn't mean you take them back, it helps release this block, and your intuition will be even stronger. Whoever I'm tapping into today, your intuition is pretty spot on already, but it's going to sort of probably go up a gear. Yeah, and you'll be allowed to focus better than you have been. So I think I'm being called here again, to just be patient. Just don't tell yourself off, because I did feel the energy drop a bit there. So that's not the answer. Stay in that. Things are in divine order. The block will be completely released when it's supposed to be released, and that's just how it goes. Oh, a feather fell out. Of course, that's not an accident. Yeah, so just stay in this lovely, patient, courageous energy you found. Use forgiveness when you can, and if you can't forgive, be willing to forgive. And if you need extra protection, there are certain crystals that can help. This black crystal that I can't think of the full name is a good one for negativity, you know, being sent your way or in your own aura. And it could facilitate releasing these blocks, but a block will be released when it's ready. And the more you pray, the more you get into alignment and all of those things, it will help. Yeah. And please allow the messages to fly out, please, Spirit, for the highest good of all. Oh, okay. I was going to say nothing's falling out. Okay, so Spirit's going to give you signs, and they just gave us a sign, didn't they? There's a feather there. And I did not know it was there. Yeah. So accept help from your angels, ancestors and guides, or, you know, wherever you find it, books, tarot. Always be discerning, though. You know, like, speak to your own spirit team, especially when it comes to general messages. Don't act on things unless it feels right for you, and again, speak to your own spirit team and pray about it. I'm sure this, whoever I'm tapping into today, you know this. I think Spirit doesn't want you to communicate with whoever it was you've let go of, but that may be hard. But because the releasing blocks was upside down, I think it's going to be hard to release this block or this wound or whatever this was, that an assignment that you had to understand, if you do talk to this person that comes through, or people or things. Obviously in some situations you have no choice, but you can cover yourself in a white barrier, you know, white light, and or imagine yourself as a mirror so the energy gets sent back. Yeah, and maybe through crystals or angels or both, prayer, you can receive more healing. You can receive more healing. This wasn't easy. This energy I'm picking up, this was abusive. Yeah, and maybe it's even worse than that because it didn't look like it on the surface, or it was very slow and insipid. But you don't need this person. You don't need them. And again, I'm really being called to say that there's nothing wrong with your intuition. It's just when you release this and you don't ever think about communicating with them and so forth, it's just going to get better. Your focus is going to get better. Your relationship with your spirit team is going to get better. Yeah, you'll just be able to track better and all of those things. But you're not doing anything wrong. It's a process. You can't just jump to the finish line. But the fact that you have boundaries, the fact that you're understanding what's happened, is half the work. Please allow the message to fly out, Spirit, for the highest good of all, so I can channel these messages. Okay, so you're in silence, possibly with this person, because I felt to say not to communicate with this person. Yeah, you have a very open heart, okay? Tell me more, please, Spirit. Okay, so you had a past life with this person, okay? And it's now in this lifetime. And how do I say that, Spirit? You have a very big heart, okay? And maybe being silent isn't easy for you, or it's taking you a while to get to this level. And you've had past lives with these people, and I'm hearing it's laid the foundation in this life for you, and that's to sort of accept less than you, like to be sacrificial, like putting your heart, your life, others before yourself, and particularly these people that were in your past life, which sort of traps you essentially. And that's why we've got that sort of mind control energy earlier, and you've had to endure karma because of it. Again, it's just lessons, but there's a point where you can draw a line and say, I'm not going in that classroom anymore, I've learned the lesson, you know, rather than just sitting there and, you know, the desk is tiny because you've been in that classroom for so long. You know, that doesn't have to happen. So yeah, just be aware, if this person does apologize, still keep your distance, okay? And there is a bluff card here, so it's not even authentic anyway. So just don't get trapped in this classroom again. You know, you're too big for it. You can't sit on those chairs, they're tiny. Stay with your silence and keep your open heart, but just remember this boundary, remember the assignment. You've got something to be excited about coming in, and that could just be the more you walk away from this karmic situation that you've outgrown, the more intuition, the more focused you're going to accept, the more healing you're going to accept. And this is just going to be nothing but some old memory, some that you might barely think about, or sort of like just like a tiny blip of experience where you came home to God, came home to yourself. Yeah, that you managed to succeed. Sorry, I'm stumbling quite a lot here, aren't I? Yeah, so please recognise your own beauty, inside and out. You don't need to be Claudia Schiffer to, you know, for that to happen. Perhaps this person didn't help that. These people, they didn't help that. They didn't make you feel good enough. And they've done this in a past life and it's caused you exhaustion. But time is up on that. Perfection doesn't exist. Yeah, you're stepping into a new beginning. This person is clinging though, okay? Especially now you're stepping into your divine feminine energy. But keep stepping, keep going that way. Keep your distance. Don't get trapped in this. You've come out of this trap. And whatever this person was doing or people were doing, they're projecting. And I'm hearing it was deliberate. So obviously, very often everyone's trying their best, even, you know, despite what that looks like. But perhaps this person is, I don't know, just, you know, you're healing from this, but I'm very weary that this person is, yeah, you're nourishing yourself, perhaps you're nourishing your family, you know, like eating better, drinking better. Yeah, you're stepping into this divine feminine energy, and it's after a lot of pain. Perhaps you were hoping that this person would change, hoping this person would give you a commitment. Maybe they were giving you false hope or something, or, you know, it could be a job, it could be anything. But yeah, you've withdrawn now because you know it's just a fantasy and you don't want it anyway. This person has no depth. This person has no depth. Yeah, they could be your divine masculine, and that could be, you know, that could be, it doesn't, you know, the sex doesn't matter. Yeah. Something more, Blue Spirit. you're stepping out of this. If this gave you depression of some kind, you're stepping out of this. And the reason why you felt that way is because this person lives there, and there's no judgment. You know, everyone goes through different things during life, but there's limits to what someone can offer you when they're in that energy. They can only give you what they've got. And this person has a lot of bad karma. Perhaps they racked this up from other past lifetimes. So yeah, do your best to just keep this as a memory. I just saw 3103 on the clock. Was it 03? Yeah. Yeah, you're doing the right stuff. And Spirit just wants you to know to stay in that energy of being patient, you're courageous, be willing to forgive. Maybe what's happened here is unforgivable. But it's not for them, it's for yourself. You know, I used to think forgiveness meant like, well, why am I going to give them something of me? You're not. You're giving something to you. So you can release these blocks. So you can... and that I'm not saying by any means I've been able to forgive everyone and everything, but when I can't and I'm not in that energy, I do my best to be willing to forgive. You know, we've all been in different situations in these lifetimes. You've been that person, and so forth, and you know what I mean. There's no what am I trying to say? You've been less evolved than you are right now, and you could very well, your next lifetime, I mean, it depends what your situation is, but you could be that person. So it's sort of having grace for the situation, but that doesn't mean you have this open heart and you just let anyone come into your home. And when I mean home, I mean your safety zone, your safe space, so they can just make a muck of it and kick everything over and smash things. And I think your open heart has been so open. That's essentially what's been going on. And you're like, you've been in this energy like so loving. You've just not had boundaries. You've not had a lock on your door. You've not had a security alarm. You've just had it wide open and sort of said, you know, come in, I love everyone. Everyone's equal. Everyone, God loves everyone. And this is true. But your assignment is to know your boundaries, to not unsee what you've seen, to understand the assignment, and to know that you don't need these people, and the block will be released. And do your best to be willing to forgive when you, maybe not at the very moment when you feel the hurt and pain and be like, oh, I must forgive. At that moment, it's better to allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, journal it, push through it. And when you get to another feeling that maybe doesn't feel so heated, then think about asking Spirit to help you to forgive them so you can release it from your energy field. And when you release things from your energy field, they're less likely to come back in another form. You know, because the lesson's been learned, the karma's been learned, it won't resonate with you anymore. It doesn't mean it definitely goes and you'll never meet anyone with those kind of energies ever again. You know, you always have to be discerning, but it's less likely to happen because it doesn't exist in you. It's left that energetic bond. It's gone up in smoke. It doesn't exist. There's nothing there for you anymore. I think I'm going to leave that there, but thank you for being here, and I ask Archangel Michael to bless me and the collective. And yeah, just please be gentle with yourself. It's just carry on being patient with yourself, carry on tapping in as much as you can to the divine, and relax today has come out. So if you can because this energy was hard. I think you've gone through something awful, and if, obviously put it where it fits, but something that could have been just terrible. Yeah, so please, Archangel Michael, bless and heal and protect the collective. So motive B.